today is anger and mercy. Anger and mercy. Mark, you could just, when you get out of there, close the door. When you get out of there, just pull up the chair, and then if you have to keep doing it. So today is anger and mercy, family. So a lot of times things make you angry, right? Well, not I want to say a lot of times, but at times things make you angry, and you want to make sure that you're handling it according to thus saith the Lord. And a lot of times people think if you're angry, it's just a bad thing. But according to the scriptures, that's a natural thing. It's just how you respond to it. And then going into the mercy, a lot of times people deal with forgiveness and having mercy on their neighbor. It's just not a common thing in this world. We sit up here and say, oh, well, we Israel, like our people do, but even in this walk, people still have to learn how to be merciful to people and to know how to move about things when they're angry, even in our households, toward one another, towards your children at work, or whether you're at work, you at school, in your marriage, and just wherever you at, you have to know how to really remain in the spirit, because it's real easy to get out of it once things are triggered, and it could just cause, a lot of times it could cause life or death. It has for many. It's caused them to be put in prison. It's caused people to die. It's caused people to make a decision that they wish they could take back. So we want to make sure, that we have some examples of how to just constantly work on ourselves to just fix this. You want to make sure that you got the Most High's law on your mind. That's why you want to make sure that you got the Most High in your life, so you always have a foundation. A lot of people just out here acting off their emotions and what they think is right, leaning to their own understanding, like Proverbs chapter 3 talks about. So many times you just lean to your own understanding, and wonder why you're not in the place that you want to be in your life, or why you keep going through the same things over and over. So if we could, can we go to Matthew chapter 5? Because it's not too late to change that and work on those things that can help you get this kingdom. Let's go Matthew chapter 5. Let's start at verse 1.
The book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit.
Blessed are the poor in spirit. It's not just, blessed are the poor. Blessed are the poor in spirit. It's don't have nothing to do with your finance.
For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
So the meek shall inherit the earth. I said that earlier, right? Let's go into the word meek. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. What does that mean, inherit the earth? Anybody? Both?
The kingdom to come.
The kingdom to come. Let's go in depth on that word meek. Yeah, you can get that one.
This is anav. Anav, poor, afflicted, humble, meek.
You humble, right? Meek. Go to Numbers chapter 12 in verse 1.
The book of Numbers chapter 12 and verse 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, Hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the
So
earth.
he was the most humblest man on the face of the earth, right? So we're going here to just show how they were provoking Moses, right? Let's finish reading.
Verse
No, in Numbers.
Numbers 12 and verse 3. No, verse 4. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, Come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out, and the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam. And they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in darkness, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall behold. Wherefore, then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
Look, now you'll be afraid. Stop speaking against my servant Moses, right? Moses was meek, and they still come up after him. So many times you just mind your business. You like, man, why are people coming after me? It just seems like I'm having a bad day, right? You move in with meekness. And these things, we got to remember that people been going through these things, right? So many times people think it's just woe is me, woe is me. That's why we always we try to break that spirit of just bringing you down and understand that, you know what, this part of the journey. This part of the journey right here. I'm stronger than this. I'm not going to let this defeat me. Look, they was coming after Moses all the time. And he was the most meek man in all the earth. And he kept having to just pray for these Israelites that kept getting out of order, coming after him when he was trying to do right by them. Has that happened to anyone where it's like you trying to help someone and they come after you? It's like, I'm trying to help you out, right? Like, I'm trying to help me help you. That's the saying, right? Let's finish reading.
Picking up at verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us.
Look, now Moses like, come on, no. Still me. He didn't just say, you know what, she deserved it. And it's real easy, especially depending on what type of personality we got. And you know, some people still trying to change their old ways. Some people might not identify it that quick that they in the flesh, right? So we have to constantly, you know what? We have to go to Go to 1 Corinthians 11:31. We have to constantly put it on our mind. If you want to really be the best you could be in the spirit, if you really trying to, you know, have a more peaceful life, if you trying to have a more peaceful life, some people don't really want no peace in their life. They're going to chase every piece of drama, right? But you have to, go ahead, read that.
1 Corinthians 11:31. For if we judge ourselves, we should not be judged.
So every day we want to make sure, like, question yourself about the way you moving. Let's go back to Numbers.
Picking up in Numbers chapter 12, verse 11. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
Look at how, he's saying us. That's how some people be like, it's my fault. No, it's my fault. You so meek and humble. You always you take accountability for others' actions, right? You trying to, no, they out of pocket, but he's so meek. He like, look, we all one. He trying to be all one. Finish reading.
Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, Heal her now, O God, I beseech thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out of the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again.
Mm-hmm.
And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people were moved from Hazeroth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran.
So, something like that, just showing mercy right there on her. He could just be like, yeah, handle her. She shouldn't be speaking against me. And that's the thing about the Most High is that, yeah, Moses did it there. And then, of course, later he messed up, right? Taking the credit. So that goes back to just constantly judging yourself, moving the right way. And it's real easy to get in that flesh quick. Happen quick. Right off of just one situation. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 4. Yes. Go Ephesians 4. And let's start at 26.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, and verse 26. Be ye angry and sin not.
Can anybody answer why would he say be ye angry and sin not?
You can be angry without like committing a sin according to the Bible. So like hurting your neighbor or I don't know, killing them, whatever. You can be angry without resorting to violence.
And some people hold on to those grudges and things for so long. Like some people hold on for stuff for 5, 10, 20 years. Like you still dealing with that? Like that person ain't even thinking about that no more. Yeah, but they got the best of me. And you know, it's when people getting the best of you or you feel they got one up over you, you just can't just take your blessings and keep growing and keep ticking. Like, look, that's pride right there, right? Pride coming before the fall. Let's finish reading that.
Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Try to get over that as fast as you can. Finish reading.
Neither give place to the devil.
Because why? Now you start you start having a different mindset for get back, for this. Like you do something that gets you all off your program because you so mad, right? Let's go to Exodus 32.
You still holding Matthew 5?
Nah. Well, we're gonna go back there later though. Later. We'll go back. Not right now. Let's start that verse 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 32 and verse 1. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives and your sons and your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool. After he had made it a molten calf, and they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go get thee down, for thy people which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I have commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation.
So Moses, I'm gonna make of thee a greater nation. Look, I'm getting rid of them.
And Moses besought the Lord his God and said, Lord, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power, and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, For mischief did he bring them out, so to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from thy fierce wrath, and repent of this evil against thy people. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidst unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and this land that I have spoken of I will give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And the Lord repented of the evil which he had thought to do unto his people.
So check that out. If it wasn't for Moses' meekness, his mercy that he continually had, he could have just been like, yeah, go ahead, get rid of him. Get rid of him. Yeah, you right. So many times, like, man, some people just out here with no mercy. I seen a man pour some water on just a lady outside, just homeless. And I called him like, man, what you doing? And it was like, just, my bad. And it's like, some people just out here with no mercy, not even knowing if they dealing with an angel or what. Matter of fact, go to what's that, Hebrews 13:1. And then we're gonna go back to Exodus. But you don't know who you dealing with sometimes. You just doing things to random people, you not worried about it, and then wondering why so much bad things keep happening to you. Bring that out.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13. Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
And don't even know who they dealing with. You don't know if you're dealing with an angel, right? Let's go back to Exodus 32, but let's jump it down. Let's start at verse 31. 30, Slacky.
The book of Exodus, chapter 32, picking up at verse 30. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, Ye have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto the Lord. Peradventure I shall make an atonement for your sin.
Look, I'm going to go do this for y'all, because y'all are tripping, right?
And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them gods of gold.
So check that out. The Most High said that's a great sin. We got to remember that. Highlight that. It's a great sin to make you gods of gold. So he is definitely not filling the nations with all this idolatry. And Israel that's following this stuff, even in ignorance, he's not filling none of the Buddhas, none of these things, right? Finish reading.
Verse 32. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written.
Look, you such a meek person, you willing to sacrifice your own self. Yet, and that's how some of us are, right? You so merciful, but that's why the Most High always got your back and always taking care of you, right? Finish reading.
Verse 33. And the Lord said unto Moses, Whosoever have sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. Therefore.
No, that's it. So just the meekness that you must have, right? Let's go to let's get Matthew 11:29. And we're not saying just go out there and just play yourself for destruction. Some people you gotta definitely use wisdom when you're dealing with some people out here. You're not supposed to just giving them all your lunch money and your shoes, and you're not out here to just be destroying yourself. So use wisdom. We just saying show mercy on people, according to these ways of the Most High. Go ahead.
How did Moses know who to show mercy to?
Well, when you using wisdom, you gotta let the Most High be your guide. That's why that ruach's supposed to come in. Like when you read Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, just when you keeping commandments and you letting the Most High be your guide, things he's gonna show you and move you. But some people don't believe on that, right? You gotta really let the Most High be your guide. You gotta be able to have eyes to see, ears to hear. You gotta know what's going on, you know. And it'll come. The more you keep the Most High's ways, the more that your discernment for things is going to get a lot stronger. Your discernment, meaning you're going to be able to judge situations aright. Where we at? Matthew 11 and 29.
It reads, "Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls."
So even Christ is meek. I mean, all this evil in the earth, and he's still saying, look, it's a few people we're going to show some mercy towards. We're going to get them in the last days. We're going to give them the kingdom. The Most High is merciful, especially from the things that we've done or come up out of, right? He knows that you're born in the devil's world, and it's a lot going on out here. Let's go to Matthew 22 and 39. It's a lot going on out here. Just every day you get up. Matthew 22 and 39. Let's go there.
The book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 39. "And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself."
So like it. Let's go to jump to 36. Let's start there.
Verse 36. "Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yeshua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart."
This is number one. How do we do that part, family? Come on, let's finish reading.
"And with all thy soul, and with all thy mind."
So all your mind. So if you got all your mind, you got to make sure like that you are representing the Most High. Keep it going.
"This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself."
That's
That's same one.
It's right at the door, see it?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, that's you. No.
Smell that food. I'm trying to get the lesson. You saying calm. Let's go back up a little bit toward, or go ahead, where you at?
Verse 39. "And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself."
So check that out. Whether it be in people that just love Jesus and go to church on a Sunday, whether it be you an Israelite, you know these laws, statutes, commandments. People so just be precepting, not saying nothing's wrong with it. We're not putting that out there. But people so worried about just slicing and dicing, they not even loving on their neighbor like that. Well, I'll just correct you all day, brother. You so worried about slicing them up, you won't even give them an apple if they hungry. Like you more worried about just, hey, it's many works in this, so I don't want to act like one is over the other. I'm just saying that people not really looking to really help people first, other than just showing you I know this Bible more than you and I'm an Israelite, right? It's like, come on, man, like people need some help first before you can even teach them, you know. So just like you was just talking about, just having the discernment and wisdom. Like, okay, before I just go slicing this person up with a precept, they don't even got a place to stay. They don't even got no food. They don't got no shoes on their feet. They don't even got, they eyesight might be bad. And I'm trying to show them all these, like, it's certain things that our people just gotta just keep the commandments, rely on the ruach to really, goes back to the meekness. So you know how to move with people, right? Loving your neighbor right here. Let's read 39 and 40.
Let's do 40, we read 39.
Okay.
"On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets."
Why is that? Anyone want to answer that? Why is all the law and the prophets on those two right there, on those two laws? If you're doing those two, you should be doing all of the commandments. If you love the Most High God, you're not going to what? Be in idolatry with the false gods of this earth. You're gonna follow Exodus 20. You're gonna follow the dietary law. You're gonna keep his feast days, especially to the best of your ability. You're gonna keep the Sabbath to the best of your ability. You're gonna do all these things. You're gonna read. If you love the Most High God, if you loving your neighbor, you're not looking to destroy them in any way, shape, or form, right? Let's read 41 on through.
Verse 41. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yeshua asked them, saying, What think ye of Christ? Whose son is he? They say unto him, The son of David. He saith unto them, How then doth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool.
What is he talking about right there, though? Little off of the anger and mercy lesson, but what is he talking about right there? Read that part again.
Verse 43. He saith unto them, How then doth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool.
Anybody know what he's talking about right there? Go to Psalms 110 and 1. And we're gonna go Proverbs 30 and 4.
Let's just read that again,
Psalms 110 and 1. We'll go there first.
The book of Psalms, chapter 110 and verse 1. The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool.
What is David talking about? His Lord said to his Lord. Khan. Because why? He knows that the Most High have a son, right? We know David in the flesh was on this earth before Christ.
Verse 2.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies.
Go to what's that? Proverbs 31. Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 4. Who hath ascended up into heaven or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fists? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell?
So he knew that there was a son of God, right? The first spirit made in the heavens. Let's go Ecclesiasticus 51 and 10. Khan.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 51 and verse 10. I called upon the Lord, the Father of my Lord, that he would not leave me in the days of my trouble, and in the time of the proud, when there was no help.
So all through this book, Old Testament, Apocrypha, New Testament, you can't get away from his son Christ. Let's go Luke chapter 10. And let's start at verse 25. Back to this anger and mercy.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 10 and verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? And he said unto him, What is written in the law? How readest thou? And he answering said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. And he said unto him, Thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live. But he, willing to justify himself, saying unto Yeshua, And who is my neighbor?
We see that in the truth, right? I don't know. I definitely see this one, right? Well, who is your neighbor? Come on, man. Finish reading.
And Yeshua answering said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him, and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him. And when he went to him, bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out of the pence, and gave them to host, Salakia, and gave them to the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee. Which now of these three, thinkest thou, was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? And he said, He that showed mercy on him.
What'd he say?
And he said, He that showed mercy on him.
Uh-huh.
Then said Yeshua unto him, Go, and do thou likewise.
So he want mercy, right? We can't be asking the Most High, look, have mercy on us, and you not having no mercy. Like, that's a big part of this walk, right? You gotta have you some mercy about yourself towards your neighbor. 1 John chapter 4 and 20. Let's get that verse real quick.
The book of 1 John, chapter 4 and verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love the Most High, whom he hath not seen?
Read the next one.
And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth the Most High love his brother also.
Some people don't got no love up in them. They'll do you wrong. They'll do you wrong quick. And man, gotta have. Go ahead.
How we was talking about last lesson about how David and his sons, and how the other son raped the daughter, and the other son got mad. Would that be an exception not to love him anymore, or like?
Well, it says as much as possible be at peace with all men. So it's not gonna be possible to be at peace with all men. That's one thing. And you're not supposed to hate your brother, right? But wrong is wrong. You could call a spade a spade. If that person wrong, you foul for doing that, right? You can be angry and sin not. So you're gonna be mad at that situation, right? But you're not gonna go and do some you're not gonna go shed blood, right? Especially right now, when you up under this grace to, you gotta forgive someone unless it's a self-defense situation, but you gotta let the Most High take his vengeance. You know, you can't go do some things and get blood on your hands and all type of things like that. So yeah, you can see that and be like, you know, I'm not messing with that situation. You know, you can forgive someone. You don't have to. If your next door neighbor doing the most, you don't gotta just, you know, you ain't gotta invite Jeffrey Dahmer in and have pizza and all these types of things with you. You know, hopefully that answers your question. Go to let's go to 1 John chapter 2. And let's go verse 9. Let's start there. 9 through 11.
The book of 1 John, chapter 2 and verse 9. He that saith he is in the light, and hateth his brother, is in darkness even until now. He that loveth his brother abideth in the light, and there is none occasion of stumbling in him. But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes.
Go to Proverbs chapter 6. I'll edify you on that a little bit more. Proverbs chapter 8 in verse 13.
The book of Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil.
So, you hate the evil that person is doing, right? For your question earlier. You just hate what they doing. That's evil right there. You don't have to say, well, I like your evil. Keep doing what you want. No, you hate the things that they doing. You hate to see people rob, stealing, and killing each other, right? You don't just say, man, you a real one. Yeah. And they doing destructive things, right? So you hate that evil that they doing. You don't hate the person. That evil that you're doing, that's not cool. So that's got to be the mindset, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 6 and verse 14.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 14. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses.
So that's why this lesson is very key, anger and mercy, because you got to learn to, just forgive. You could see how somebody's moving, though, and know that's their character, but you don't got to hold on to that, to where I just want something bad to happen to them. Nah, that's just how they moving. And you don't hold it to where you got hate in your heart. You just gotta be at peace about how you living. Because a lot of times too, people don't realize the Most High trying to just better you for something else. You still holding on to that, and He got some. He has a bigger blessing for you in your life coming, but you just want to know everything right then and there. That's why He say trust the Proverbs 3 and 5.
Could it be though that some people just really don't know what forgiveness is and what it look like?
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're kind of taking our time with bringing this out, because our people come from so many different areas, walks of life, different upbringing, and it's like they have to learn that, so it's just getting that up out of your heart. You don't have to hold on to, some people just hold on to that stuff too long. Like, bro, that was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. That was 2 years ago. Whether it's even in relationships, like this person done changed, they changed, and you still holding on to them that don't even exist. That person ain't even there no more. I know I need some forgiveness in my household. So it's, but how can you grow if you just still holding on to that? You just, you ain't gonna be able to get past. You're not gonna be able to be fully happy. You letting the devil get the best of you, really. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths.
You want Him to direct your path. So many people, Lord, I want a blessing. Lord, give me out of situation. Lord, but we just want to be in. We don't leave no space for faith as a people sometimes. Not all of us, but just, we don't leave no faith. We don't just do what we're supposed to do and let the Most High work. We got to have it and figure it out right now. And it's like He say, without faith, you can't please Him, like Hebrews 11 says. So you gotta have mercy out here, because some people, some people grow later, some never do, some digress because they start holding on to the wrong things. John chapter 8. Let's go there. And let's start from verse 1.
The book of John, chapter 8 and verse 1. Yeshua went unto the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman taken in adultery. And when they had set her in the midst, they say unto him, Master, This woman was taken in adultery in the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what sayest thou? This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Yeshua stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground.
So that right there, that's him using discernment and wisdom, right? What we was bringing out earlier. He knew why. He knew that they was trying to catch him up. And they don't care about this woman that they bringing. They just want to do the judgment. They not worried about, look, sis, that's foul. You doing adultery. You know, you got to get right with the Most High. They trying to, well, what you think about this, man? Trying to get him. So they're not more concerned with helping the people. They trying to destroy the people, right? That's not loving your neighbor. How does that make you feel good that you destroying someone? And the Most High don't even operate like that when you read Ezekiel 18. He say he has no pleasure in that the righteous shall basically be destroyed, paraphrasing. But he want people to come to repentance. So how can you say you dealing with the Most High and you not even dealing like him? Let's finish reading.
Verse 9. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest even unto the last. And Yeshua was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Yeshua had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee? She said, No man, Lord. And Yeshua said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more.
Look, go and sin no more. He didn't just say, sis, stay tripping, do what you want. He's saying like, look, get right, get it together. And when people say they trying to walk like Jesus and everything, they just make up their own. Like, people know, they should know by now if they dealing with you that you gonna just give them real talk, right? They ask you, man, what you think about this? Bro, that's wicked. You shouldn't be doing that. So they not even gonna ask you. They know what you're standing on, right? They know that you doing righteous judgment. Let's keep it going. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 28. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 28, verse 1.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 28 and verse 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord, and he will surely keep his sins in remembrance.
So check that out. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord, and he will surely keep his sins in remembrance. Why? You gotta get some mercy about yourself. You have to, in your heart, you have to have some mercy toward your neighbor, and you gotta have some forgiveness, because you want the Most High to wash away all your sins. You want all this from the Most High, but you won't even do it, right? And you basically, a lot of people don't realize you doing things to his people, his royal seed at that, with the violence and the things we do to each other. So you basically, oh, I get it. You don't want no one messing up your children, but you want to mess with the Most High's children. That's what people be doing. They don't realize that. No different from the leaders of this earth. Let's finish reading.
Verse 2. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee. So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
Look, I want the kingdom. What you did back then, I ain't even tripping on that. You ain't gonna do it again. You ain't gonna have opportunity to do it again. But I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping on that. But you need some bread. I got some bread for you. You need some water. I can give you some water. You need some. All right, here, boom, I'm gone. I'm not gonna keep setting myself up. We're not saying that. Like sis was saying, people don't know what forgetfulness is. That doesn't mean you go and take someone else, take someone back in that 5 years ago had you losing your edges and some weight. We not say it like that. Just You don't gotta just, yeah, they jacked up. Look at them. Yeah. You know, you just move on about your life. Keep it going.
Verse 3. One man beareth hatred against another, and doth he seek pardon from the Lord?
Look, we're just saying that. You seeking pardon from the Lord, but you got hatred in your heart toward your brother.
He showeth no mercy to a man which is like himself, and doth he ask forgiveness of his own sins? If he that is but flesh nourish hatred, who will entreat for pardon of his sins?
Because Christ can't represent that. Let's keep it going.
Remember thy end, and let enmity cease. Remember corruption and death, and abide in the commandments.
Abide in the commandments. Because why? If I do the commandments, remember, on all these hang the law. If I do the commandments, I'm not going to be caught up in that. It should get easier for you. People trying to figure out all this stuff, man. You doing Black Lives Matter, and then yet you at one of your favorite gangster rap shows praising him. Like, just backwards, right? Keep it going.
Verse 7. Remember the commandments, and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the highest, and wink at ignorance.
God, just wink at ignorance. Just wink at ignorance. Just talking about that a lot this week. Just, you get so caught up in just having this towards somebody. Yeah, I don't understand why they're doing this. They in the world. They not keeping commandments. They not trying to follow God. They have a whole different spirit. You trying to force your lifestyle into someone that's not even thinking about God on the daily. They not even thinking of doing right. They just trying to get paid by any means. They trying to just get a lifestyle. So wink at their ignorance. You know what? They grew up like this. They on that. You gotta really understand. Just wink at their ignorance, right? You know what? I can't do nothing about that. They don't even come to the Most High. What am I gonna do with that? How am I gonna fix that? You have to know that. Go to Ecclesiastes 29 in verse 1.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 29 and verse 1. He that is merciful will lend unto his neighbor, and he that strengtheneth his hand keepeth the commandments. Lend to thy neighbor in time of his need, and pay thou thy neighbor again in due season. Keep thy word, and deal faithfully with him, and thou shalt always find the thing that is necessary for thee.
Look, it's a good thing, right? Go to jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. Yet have thou patience with a man in poor estate, and delay not to show him mercy.
Look, you got to be able to show some mercy. You got to be able to show some mercy. The Most High is definitely big on that. Going to let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 23. About 2 more. Going into David and Saul, right? Let's just start at verse 24. Chapter 24, so like.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 24 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when Saul returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of En Gedi. And then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats. And he came to the sheepcotes by the way. Lost my spot. And he came to the sheepcotes by the way, where was a cave, and Saul went in to cover his feet. And David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of which the Lord said unto thee, Behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thine hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off thy skirt of Saul's robe privily. And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him because he had cut off Saul's skirt.
So now David going through it. He like, man, I'm not really trying to, even though I know you after me, you doing wicked, I'm not really trying to just do you like that, right? I'm not trying to kill you, a king in Israel. And these are the things, you know, when you dealing with meekness that you go through. But the Most High always protect David, right? But then the minute he started coming into the, he was gloried up. He had the kingdom. He's winning the wars. He's his people looking good. He's shining, right? And then look, lust get up in him, and he start losing that meekness, right? It's the same thing like Moses. You start losing that after a while if you're not focused, right? And you let the flesh start getting the best of you. So even the most righteous men and the men of ancient Israel was going off. So we gotta constantly, like 1 Corinthians 11:31, judge ourselves lest ye be judged, because it's more of our people in the ancient times that was going off than not. Many men going off, many kings, and it seems like every time the men of Israel get some position of power, they lose focus a little bit. So, but just the mercy he's showing Saul right here. Let's finish reading.
Picking up at verse 6. And he said unto his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, the Lord's anointed, to stretch forth mine hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord. So David stayed his servants with these words, and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also arose afterward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, my Lord, the king. When Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. And David said to Saul, wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, behold, David seeketh thy hurt? Behold, this day thine eyes have seen how that the Lord had delivered thee today into mine hand in the cave. And some bade me kill thee, but mine eyes spared thee. And I said, I would not put forth mine hand against my Lord, for he is the Lord's anointed.
Look, he's saying, look, everybody knew I should be getting you. I could have had you right here, but I didn't.
Moreover, my father, see, the skirt of thy robe in mine hand, for in that I cut off the skirt of thy robe, and killed thee not. Know thou, and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against thee. Yet thou huntest my soul to take it.
Look, you trying to get me, and look how I'm sparing your life right now.
Verse 12. The Lord judge between me and thee, and the Lord avenge me of thee, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. As saith the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceedeth from wicked, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom dost thou pursue? After a dead dog? After a flea? The Lord therefore be judge, and judge between me and thee, and see, and plead my cause, and deliver me out of thine hand. And it came to pass, when David had made an end of speaking these words unto Saul, that Saul said, is this thy voice, my son David? And Saul lifted up his voice.
He come with the manipulation now. David, my son, David. So that's what we saying. He forgiving him, right? But David, finish reading.
And wept. And he said to David, thou art more righteous than I, for thou hast rewarded me good, whereas I have rewarded thee evil. And thou hast showed this day how that thou hast dealt well with thee. For as much as when the Lord had delivered me into thine hand, thou killedst me not. For if a man find his enemy, will he let him go well away? Wherefore the Lord reward thee for that thou hast done unto me this day. And now, behold, I know well that thou shalt surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in thine hand. Swear now therefore unto me by the Lord, that thou wilt not cut off my seed after me, and that thou wilt not destroy my name out of my father's house. And David sware unto Saul, and Saul went home, but David and his men gathered him up unto the hold.
So after this, when you continue reading the next, couple chapters, you just see that Saul just keep getting more and more jacked up in his mind, right? He's not really done trying to get him, but David start moving, right. He not just saying, yeah, Saul, he knew what was in Saul and it hurt him, but he still was moving in ways that the Most High God wanted him to move. So he wasn't just holding no grudge. He understood, he knew what it was. And just like when you go into, Hezekiah, letting people in his home because he was a nice guy. You letting people in your home that's wicked, and then the Babylonians come and just basically rob you. When you read, what's that? Like Isaiah 38. So, just using wisdom, for using wisdom and forgetfulness, that's two different things, right? So don't, get caught up in thinking you just have to let someone just do you any old kind of way. That's not what we saying, but show some mercy. And if you angry, sin not. Make sure you waiting on the Holy Spirit to just reveal how you should move about your steps in your daily walk. Any questions? Nope. Everybody good? All right, let's pray out. Thank the Most High God, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ahaya B'Hashem Yeshai Kodashwa.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, Would God it were even, and at even thou shalt say, Would God it were morning, for the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord God of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord. And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess thee. And I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your